Go home. Go home, we can start now.
1, 2, 3. Good morning, teacher.
Good morning, students. Welcome back to another beautiful day. It's Friday morning. We might still be a little bit sleepy. So before we start, I just want us to do a little bit of a warm-up. So I'm going to pause the videos and then we can do that. Okay. I hope all the best for you guys in the year that's coming, and for those that are finishing this year in Patom level, I hope you guys also do well moving into the Matiom levels and also take care of yourselves and carry on your journey. But for now, we still have a couple of months together, and I want to make the best of that and see if we can learn as much as possible. So, firstly, we gave homework last time on page 58 and 59. If you have not done the homework, please do it and send it to us in the line group. If you have any questions or there's anything that you are unsure of, please also ask me, or you can also ask Teacher Om to help and explain. And also, if I move a little bit fast, please slow me down because I tend to get very excited and then I might talk a little bit too fast. So today we're going to start with Unit 3, circles. So the circle is a very interesting shape and it has a lot of uses in the real world. If you look at a lot of objects around us, a lot of them have circular shapes. So, what is the most important part of a circle? Well, first, we have to look at the different components. So, let me first go to the next page. Here. So, the different components we have in a circle. Now, these you will just have to learn. Learn them off by heart so that we don't forget them. So the middle of the circle is usually the center point of all calculations. So we have to first always find the middle. The middle of the circle. So from the middle, if you draw a line from the middle to the edge of the circle, that will give us our radius of the circle. And the diameter is a line that runs from the one side straight through to the other side of the circle. And it has to touch both ends of the circle. So you can see diameter would run from here all the way through here. It has to also go through the center of the circle to get us an accurate diameter. And then the other one we have is a chord. Now a chord is a line that touches two parts of the circle. So this one, the calculations for a chord is quite difficult, but we might get into that later. So if you touch any 2 points of the circle, but it does not go through the center, then we have a chord. Okay, and then the circumference is the total distance around the whole circle. That's the circumference. Okay, just a quick brush up on our circle knowledge and our words that we're going to use quite often. So just to quickly have a look at the bottom part here for number 1. Let's just make sure if we understand. So let's see. Give me the letters for the names of the different parts. So what letter is 1.1? The center. 1.1, the center. You can tell me what is the letter that shows the center. Over here on page 66.
C.
C, excellent. C is the center point over here. Very good. The diameter, which letter shows us the diameters?
AD and BF.
AD and BF, excellent. We have AD and BF. Those are the two lines that make up the two diameters. Now the radii is also a different word for radius. It means exactly the same. So how many radii do we have? Remember, one radius, two radii. So it is a plural name. How many radii do we have?
Four.
We have four of them. Excellent. And those letters are, or the names of the lines are?
AC, CD, FC, and CB.
AC, CD, FC, and CB. Those are the four radii lines. And then there's one chord. What is the name of the chord? The letters over there?
EB.
EB. Excellent. Thank you very much. EB. So these ones are quite important because when we start calculating our perimeter of the circle or the area of the circle, we need to understand 100% what these words mean. Otherwise, we will use the wrong numbers for our calculations. So number two, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on here because over here, it just shows, again, we have to just write the letters, but it is quite simple. As we can see, we'll look into that a little more as we progress forward. So the first thing they want us to do is explain how do we draw a circle. Now, in order to draw a circle, we need to have the following instrument. I put a picture down for you here. Who can tell me, what do we call this mathematical instrument? Who knows?
Compass.
A compass, excellent. We need a compass to be able to draw a circle as accurately as possible. So just a quick recap of how do we draw a circle. Well, the first thing is we need to find out what is the radius or the diameter of the circle. Once we know that, it's quite simple. So firstly, for instance, we look at number one here, where I put this picture in here. They say that the radius is 2.4 centimeters. So we know that the radius starts at the center of the circle and then moves towards the outer layer or the outer side. So in this picture here, I drew a picture from the center. Over here is the center. And this line here would be our radius of 2.4 centimeters. So now we put our compass in the middle. So the sharp pointy end over here, we're going to put it in the middle of where we want to draw the circle. If you want to draw a circle with a radius of 2.4, then we take our compass, we put the one side on the ruler, and we measure 2.4 centimeters. So we open it up, 2.4 centimeters. We put the sharp point in the middle. And then when you press it down, you turn it slowly to draw the circle. Now that circle will have a radius of 2.4 because we set a compass like that. But what will the diameter be for number 1? Who knows? What would the diameter be if the radius is 2.4? Do we know how to calculate the diameter?
4.8.
4.8. Excellent. How did you get to 4.8? What did you do to get to 4.8 centimeters?
2.4 times 2.
2.4 times 2. Excellent. So we know that the diameter can be calculated by the radius times 2. It's very important to remember. But if we have the diameter, like let's look at number 3 at the bottom here. So here they ask us to draw a circle with the diameter of 5.8 centimeters. Now to draw a circle, we need the radius. We cannot use the diameter. So to calculate the radius, now the radius equals diameter divided by 2. Very important to remember. I know we've been doing a lot of different formulas, but mathematics, the older we get and the more advanced the mathematics becomes, the more formulas we have to use. So for this instance, we're going to have 5.8. And we're going to apply long division. If you can just divide it by 2 if you can do that very quickly. But otherwise we use the long division. So 2 times 2 equals 4. 5 minus 4 equals 1. Bring down our 8 will give us 8. 2 divided by 18 is 9. And remember to add back the decimal point. So our radius over here will equal 2.9 centimeters. Okay. 2.9 centimeters. So you can practice by drawing the circle. I do not really, it's very difficult for me to show it on the board how to draw the circle. In class, it is much easier. So that is the basic rules that we need to apply. If you want to draw a circle, we need to either know the diameter or the radius. But when drawing a circle, we always start in the middle of the circle, and the length we use to make the circle is equal to the radius. Okay. Are all of you still with me? Do you understand? If I'm going fast or you don't understand, please raise your hand or please stop me so I can explain it again. Okay. So this was a very basic and very simple exercise. I'm not going to do 2 and 4 because it's quite difficult for me to draw these circles effectively. So the next thing we have to look at is firstly how to draw a circle. Then how do we calculate the perimeter of a circle? Now the perimeter of the circle looks like it can be quite tricky because over here we use this symbol, the symbol for pi. And we'll have a look now at how we got to pi. But pi is an irregular number. It's a number that never stops. So if you take a calculator, I think this calculator has pi. Let me quickly see if I can find pi on this calculator. So yeah. If you use this calculator, video settings. So So if you use this calculator over here and you press pi on the calculator and you press equals, you get 3.14. But if I change this calculator and I want to make the numbers more, we don't want here, mode, normal. I'll find out now how to do that. And I can show you that the pi number never ends. It always keeps going. Some of the smartest people in the world have memorized up to 10,000 characters of pi. So for us that we still use our minds to calculate and we don't use the calculator, we round pi up to 3.14. So that's the number we're going to use for pi. But pi never ends. Pi's number never ends. It continues to infinity. It's just one of those numbers that never has an ending. Okay, so if decimals will carry on forever and ever. Let me just change my settings again. So how do we calculate the perimeter? Now the perimeter is very, very simple in most instances for calculating of shapes or polygons. But for a circle, it is a little bit more tricky. We have to pay a lot of attention to how we do it. So the formula is straightforward. The perimeter will equal 2 times pi times your radius. Times your radius. So if you have a circle with a radius of, let's say, 2 centimeters, we will have to then calculate it as follows. We're going to say, let me use a darker color. We're going to say 2 times our 3.14 times or multiply then by 2 again for our radius. So here we can very easily calculate 4 multiplied by 3.14. And if we quickly do that calculation, we'll find what is the perimeter of the circle. So 4 times 4 will give us 16. 4 times 1 equals 4 plus 1 equals 5. 4 times 3 equals 12. So our perimeter of this circle then would be 12.56 centimeters. Remember, always work in the same units. Do everyone understand the basic formula for pi? For this, the circumference and perimeter of a circle. Let's look at a few examples and see if you can help me calculate them. Before we get there, another relationship we have is the perimeter divided by the diameter equals pi. So in that regard, the perimeter will equals pi times diameter to calculate. So I should have wrote this here. The perimeter will equals pi times diameter. Or the perimeter will equals pi times 2 times the radius. And that will give us our final formula, which is pi times 2 times r. Or 2 times pi times r. Remember, the small r refers to the radius over here. Important to understand the formulas. Okay, so for us, we need to do a little bit of practice, because practice makes perfect. So over here, they just quickly explain to us the relationship that we have between the circumference and the diameter. So for instance, let's quickly read and see what they are trying to explain. So you can put a ribbon around the top of a cylindrical shaped mug, meaning you take a ribbon and you can take something that is round and you put the ribbon around the circle. Once you've done that, you can cut the ribbon at the exact place where they cross each other. And that will give us the perimeter of the circle. So then we can take that ribbon that we formed in a circle and make it a straight line. Then you can take the same mugs and put them next to each other. And you will see that the perimeter of the circle will be a little bit more than 3 times the diameter. So this is mark number 1, mark number 2, and just a little bit extra, mark number 3. And that's why we get to pi, which is 3.14 ... So that's how we get to that, is by this formula. So the perimeter divided by the diameter will give us pi. And again, here they just show us the formula of how to calculate the perimeter. So here we go. Here I want all of you guys to help me. Let's test our brains. Nice early morning. Brain is nice and fresh. Let's see if we can put it to good use. So the first one, they calculate for us already the perimeter of the circle, which equals 2 pi r. So 2 times 3.14 times by 9 divided by 2. Why do they say 9 divided by 2? Who can tell me? Why do they say 9 divided by 2 over here? Why not 9? Does anyone know? You guys not sure. The reason why they say 9 divided by 2 is because 9 is the diameter. And the formula for the perimeter, we need to use the radius. And how did we say we calculate the radius? The radius equals diameter divided by 2. Are you guys with me? If you don't understand, please stop me. It's very important that we understand. So if you don't understand, please do stop me. So they say 9 divided by 2 here to calculate the radius. So then you will have 3.4 multiplied by 9, which will give us 28.26 centimeters. So why 3.14 divided by 9? Because 9 divided by 2 equals 4.5, multiply 2 equal 9. Okay, so the next one, the perimeter over here equals 2 times 3.14 times what? Who can tell me? 3.14 times what? You can tell me. Is there anyone?
1.5.
1.5 divided by 2. Do you guys agree? Yes? No? Maybe? So we have to take the 1.5 and divide by 2, because the 1.5 is the total length of the diameter. But we need the length of the radius to calculate the perimeter. So to get the radius, we take diameter divide by 2. But we don't have to calculate 1.5 divided by 2 because it cancels out with the 2 over here. So we divide by 2, multiply by 2, so we can just cancel them out. And we can say the perimeter will equals 3.14 multiplied by 1.5. So what is the perimeter over here? Do we have an answer so far? Do we have an answer so far? What is the perimeter of this circle over here? Who can tell me? If we multiply these two together. Do you guys quickly calculate that for me, please? We don't have a lot of time, so let's quickly see. The perimeter over here will equal 4.71. If we calculate it properly, 4.71. Do you guys get the same answer as me? I don't see a lot of expressions here. So I really hope that you guys do understand, because you guys are very quiet. I understand it's early morning, but you need to communicate with me so I understand and know that you also understand. Okay. First of all, let's look at the next one. We only have a couple of minutes left, so let's quickly go through here. The second one, our perimeter will equal the same formula, 2 multiplied by 3.14, which is pi. Multiply by what number? What do we multiply by now? Who can tell me? Hmm?
2.4.
2.4, excellent. Well done. Thank you very much. It's 2.4 centimeters. Because this is the radius. From here to here is equal the radius. So if we multiply those three numbers together, what do we get? Who can do some fast mathematics and show me what do we get? .14 times 2 is going to give me 6.28 times 2.4. You can tell me what is the final answer there? You guys agree with 15.07? What do you think? Is that correct? Yes or no? Okay. And quickly for the last one for today, before we finish off, let's do the last one. So the perimeter equals 2 times 3.14, which equals to pi, multiplied by what number? is the last one? You can tell me.
3.6.
3.6, excellent. 3.6, because that's the radius. So our perimeter will equal 2 times 3.14, which is 6.28, multiplied by 3.6, which will give us, I think it's 22.61 centimeters as our perimeter. Okay. Is everyone happy with these calculations? If you struggle to calculate it the same way I do, or you are not sure, please ask us. Do not be afraid to ask. We are always here to help you guys as much as we can. It is, I always like to help you guys. So I really do enjoy a lot of questions. But that wraps up our lesson for today. Just a quick introduction into circles and how to calculate the perimeter of the circle. So you guys were a little bit quiet today and we didn't get through the work very quickly, so the time will catch us. So I have to greet you guys now, and I really hope you guys have an amazing weekend, and thank you all for coming to the class today, and I'll see you again nice and early on a Monday morning. So have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.